Pintucks, take 1. This is sample number 26, tucks. A tuck is used to take up excess fabric, usually at the edge of a garment. It is usually a vertical tuck, but sometimes they are horizontal. Tucks are used as a design detail, or it can be a technique to release fabric for the body shape instead of a dart. This is obviously only when you use the tuck vertically. It is accomplished by either on your pattern, you would have the stitching lines of the tuck clearly marked. The circles are the spots that you line up to make sure that they are, you lined up your lines parallel. The solid line is the fold line. You can see there is an arrow at the bottom indicating which way the tuck should be folded when doing it. So tucks can be sewn with either the right sides of the fabric together or the wrong sides of the fabric together. One of the most common tucks is the pin tuck, and that is usually sewn with the wrong sides of the fabric together. So if this was on my pattern, it would be clearly marked. I would transfer these markings onto the wrong side of my fabric from my pattern, and I would fold on the fold line, which is a solid line, matching up the circles, and then I would stitch. Back stitch at the beginning, sewing down, back stitching at the end. Sometimes pattern directions will have you sew across the bottom. Either way, you're creating a tuck that's got a release at the bottom of the tuck. A more common pattern marking for pin tucks is just a series of lines. And what the pattern will tell you to do is to fold it along that line and then stitch in either 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, and there would be a whole series of these lines. So if you were sewing pin tucks, it would look something like this. You would have folded it at the line, and then you would stitch it down. These are at about 1/8 of an inch over, and you would do a whole series that are evenly spaced and the same length. This is a pin tucks with the wrong sides together so that the pin tuck is on the outside, or you can also sew them with the right sides together to get this look, and you can see how you're releasing the fabric at the end. Some samples of pin tucks. This blouse has pin tucks at the neck, a series of them, and it also has it at the cuff. So you can see how that brings in the excess fabric that needs to go over the bust and then brings it in so that it's smaller at the neckline. This is a very pretty use of pin tucks. This dress has pin tucks here at the waist, bringing in the skirt part of the dress so that it releases fuller out to the hips, and then the pin tucks. Again, this is wrong sides together, so that the tuck is on the outside of the fabric. This is a series of pin tucks at the top of a skirt, and you can see that the pin tucks are placed very close together, and these actually have the tuck on the inside, so they're sewn with the right side of the fabric together, and that releases out into this very full skirt. The pin tucks bring it in so that the skirt is more fit through the hips, and then releases out into the skirt. The last sample is a horizontal pin tuck, which is at the bottom of the skirt. You can see at the bottom, this is purely a design element, adding some visual interest to the bottom of the skirt. So pin tucks are very versatile. They can be a technique to actually bring in, and so you have a very full skirt to bring it in, or it can just be a design feature as well.